And welcome to January 3rd, 2026. This is Shag the podcast.
Day drinking with Shag.
Day drinking
I'll drink
with
to
Shag.
Hey,
Cheers.
cheers.
All right. So
Welcome.
Yeah. So we're Shag the Band.
We are some.
We are some of Shag the Band.
Krash Radley,
Thank you.
Daj Ronson,
Thank you very much.
Trixie Johnson.
Woohoo!
Thank you too.
Yeah. And we've been playing together for how long now?
Gosh,
Since
seems
20
like
21?
seems like forever.
Since the COVID.
Since the
Yeah.
since the terrible
Since
times.
post-COVID.
COVID happened.
We are a
watched
post-COVID band.
we watched all of Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And then we decided that we needed to start a band.
Yeah, I downloaded the full internet.
Yeah. Did you? Yeah. All of it? Yeah.
Yeah.
All totally legally.
Took a couple of hard drives, guys. I'm not kidding. I'm not gonna lie.
So this is our
We're this
pilot
Vancouver-based musical group,
yeah.
sort of an entertainment unit.
Yeah, how would you describe us? I think we're like an
We're
entertainment
not a cover band. We just do other people's songs, but not enough to be a tribute band. But
Yeah,
unless you catch like
Yeah, you'll probably know the songs.
yeah, definitely.
You've heard the songs.
I think what it is we're highly theatrical. Yes, it's a cover band, but we're really an entertainment group, and we like to pick songs that are have a lot of character, are danceable, maybe unusual that other bands don't tend to cover
like the
very
WWE
often.
of
You've heard them, but not for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what's the song we do that's unusual?
Planet Claire. We love opening with Planet Claire, even though everybody says, not everybody, just our drummer. Why are we opening with Planet Claire?
I was going to say
Nobody
Rock
knows
Lobster, but, now we
Well,
sound like a
Shag.
tribute band. We do about 6 Bowie tunes.
Yeah.
Lots of costumes, lots of theater changes.
Dancing.
A lot of choreography, that kind of thing.
Like, even if you don't like the music, there's lots to look at.
Yeah.
A previous guitarist that we played with, trying to find the right mix of people. On the concept, he said this would take like $100,000 to produce your show.
Yeah, I remember that.
we thought, well, maybe 3 trips to Value Village and one to the Sally Ann.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm deeply in the red on musical equipment, so
Yeah,
could
that's
be true.
Discount Fabric Store's been, one
What's
of
your
my
phrase,
favorites.
so,
This is a hobby for us, right? Some people play golf, we play rock and roll, right?
Yeah,
so,
man.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's got their hobby. It costs some money, and this is what we do. So
I mean, I know people that curl.
yeah, right? Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Curling is a lot harder than it looks. I tried that once. in
Hey,
my
I know a
40s.
famous curler's name. Sandra Schmirler the Curler.
That's a
Schmirler
name.
the Curler?
She was great. Yeah. She was from Regina. Yeah.
I used to work with
awesome.
a woman who was a curler on the Canadian team. She was like, I think they have 2 teams or maybe an alternate team. And she was on like the second of the teams. And she was a chain smoker,
Oh.
which
well,
I love that in the Olympics.
Well, curling is it's like baseball, right? There's certain sports you can do while smoking or drinking
Absolutely.
a beer.
You can-
Curling,
Pool, snooker.
baseball, outfield.
You can't usually
Darts.
say that about like in the Olympics though, but in curling you can. Like you could be chugging a beer and I think it'd be fine. I think it would probably be considered a performance enhancing drug. Like a curler and a beer. Like that's probably what they drug test for in curling. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Speaking of beer, what are we drinking?
Oh, Headbanger Brewing's very own Helles Bock.
This is live from the Lizard Lounge, home of Headbanger Brewing.
Yeah.
And our favorite headbanger.
When it comes to locally made beer, it can't get more local than this. It's made within 12 feet of where we're sitting.
So good.
One of the things about beer, it doesn't like to be transported, and this beer has not really moved.
It went from over there to there to my glass.
Yep.
Yeah. So good.
You can literally put a hula hoop around the area that this beer has existed in.
For sure.
Garage to gut.
Garage to gut. That's a new. You've heard of farm to table?
Here at Headbanger Brewing.
Yeah, garden hose to gut.
I'll drink to that.
Yay!
Cheers. All right.
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
actually delicious.
Sweet.
Yeah.
For continuity, you can always just check where the beer is.
Exactly. Yeah, continuity errors are all going to be found with where the levels are of our glasses at all times. Yeah. How did we meet Krash? So Dash and Trixie are married. Shh, don't tell anyone.
Yeah, that kind of wrecks it for the dudes that come out to the shows.
Sorry, everybody. Yeah. You don't actually get to shag the band.
Well, maybe sometimes.
The future is yet unwritten.
Yeah.
I don't know. There are more and less shaggable members of the band, I would say.
We can't talk about...
Like your chances change depending on the band member.
There is no chance of shagging any of the band.
Oh.
Well, you can't speak for them.
Memo.
They're not here. Not everyone is here. So
okay.
they will have to speak for themselves.
And as somebody, why did you get into rock and roll in the first place? Well, I wanted to get shagged.
It's true, right?
Yeah. Once out of every 1,000 times, it works.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you marry them.
So after Netflix was over, we decided to form this band.
Well, we decided before the COVID lockdown, we had a version of a band and we did the Commodore Ballroom once.
We did.
2 weeks later, our drummer died.
And then the drummer died. And rest in peace,
Zippy
Pinhead. That was our drummer.
He was awesome.
This is not a Spinal Tap joke.
Yeah, it's not. No, we've managed to keep the rest of our drummers alive since then. But in any event, yes, then COVID happened. Then we started this band. And we put out an ad on, this is going to give our age away, Craigslist.
Hey, that's the place in Vancouver, though, for musicians. It's a pretty active musician marketplace.
Yeah.
And so we put an ad out there. And then we had, we'd sort of committed actually already to a guitar player. And I think within the same day that we said we committed to the guitar player, we get this email.
Because our then drummer told us that he knew a guitarist.
Yes.
That he jammed with at jam sessions.
Yes.
And I'd known that. I've seen him perform several times. And he was
wicked
great
performer.
on stage.
Yeah, really
wonderful technical guitarist.
Yeah.
So we called him on the Saturday.
Yeah.
Said, okay, welcome, come out. You'll be in. We'll try you out in the band, and then the Sunday.
Was it the next day?
The next day, literally
24 hours later.
Yeah.
Krash Radley sends us his COVID tapes of him ripping off these amazing guitar leads. In great Burning Man outfits. And we went, this is the guy.
This is the man. Oh. But we already committed kind of to this other guy.
So we tried it.
So we did a couple of sessions with the other guy, and for various reasons, it didn't work out. And I was like back home right away on email going, hi, dear sir, would you please be interested in coming out to, have a, and that was it. That's how.
So in other words, he had the wardrobe, so he got the job.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a kind of a funny backstory to this from my perspective too, which is my wife every year nags me about what my New Year's resolutions will be.
Sorry, your wife, Poppy Fiasco?
Poppy Fiasco, yes. Who occasionally performs with the band. So she's always like, what's your New Year's resolution? And I would say something along the lines of just keep giving her, or be bitching, or something like that. And in the year of our Lord 2019, she asked me this, and I said, I think I want to play more guitar. I think I want to level up, on my guitar playing. And that was a monkey's paw of a resolution, because within 3 months we had COVID, and so I decided I would just play guitar for the whole time that we were locked down. So I took to recording various guitar solos and songs, and just spending all my time learning and practicing and stuff like that. But I'd try to do it in costume, And Poppy and I used to go to Burning Man, so we have lots of silly costumes and desert gear. And so I recorded all these things and put them on a private YouTube channel. And that's what I sent to Trixie and Dash.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then
it's perfect timing.
You built this wonderful lizard lounge all at the same time, right?
That was another COVID thing.
Yeah, another COVID thing, right?
Yeah. Poppy Fiasco, as soon as COVID started, she was prescient and said, you know, this is going to be a problem for a long time. And I was like, it's going to blow over. It's 2 weeks. 2 weeks tops. Yeah, I was like, listen, I know what I'm talking about. She was right. And she said, we gotta make a space like for people. We could open the garage door and, you know, let's make a lounge, you know. Let's make a nice little lounge in our garage. And I said, a bar? And she said, no, a lounge. And anyway, so we made a bar.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's
so now
really
so we are coming at you from the Lizard Lounge, which is a garage bar in North Vancouver, British Columbia.
Yeah. Don't get too specific.
Don't get too specific.
You're going to have everyone showing up.
Yeah, especially with our prices.
Yeah.
They can't be beat.
Now, was the brewery here first?
No, we moved the brewery here. We were brewing downstairs in the basement. And when we put in the Lizard Lounge, it was pretty obvious to my brewing partner and I that we needed to move up to here. And so that's what we did. So basically the start of the Lizard Lounge was also the start of Headbanger Brewing.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. My favorite thing when I'm here is like often there's you know, a game going up on the screen and there's 20 people here. It might be like hockey playoff season or something. And I always see these guys walking by with their dogs, you know, and I know it started out at home and they're like, hey, honey, I'm just going to take the dog for a walk. Yeah, I think the dog needs to go for a walk because I know they really just want to come here.
Yeah.
Okay, dear, I'll take the kids for Halloween. You've already taken them for Halloween twice tonight.
Yeah, we have a very community-oriented neighborhood where people tend to, I don't know, congregate or know each other. I went to a Christmas party with a bunch of neighbors and, you know, meeting a couple people for the first time. And they go, where do you live? And I said, you know, I tell them my street and they go, are you the guy with the tiki bar? And I say,
it's a Headbanger bar.
I said, it's not a tiki bar, but yes.
Awesome. So good. Yeah. And then relearning how to play. Didn't you you went to Japan, right? And then who's the guy who has Satsuma? Tell us about Satsuma.
Satsuma. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Satsuma is if you go to Japan and if you're a fan of, you know, sort of hair metal, heavy metal guitar, Satsuma is like the guy. He lives in Osaka, and he has a little okonomiyaki restaurant out there. And Guy Jean, our drummer, who's married to a Japanese lady, as far as we know.
Yeah. That's
for another story.
That's another event. He came back from one of his regular trips to Japan and said, hey, there's this dude that I went to his restaurant and he's this shredding guitar player. It's amazing. And he does this like guitar salon. And I said, is it Satsuma? And he said, yes, it is. And so anyway, if you go on YouTube and type in like Satsuma, guitar, Japan, whatever.
Right.
Probably you're just going to get a hit off
I really
Satsuma.
want to point and say, here's a link to that, right?
Yeah, I know. Let's put a link. We'll put a link up top to Satsuma's channel.
Yeah.
He's something else, man. He is really the real deal. And go walk into a guitar shop anywhere in Japan, and there's probably going to be a Satsuma poster on the wall. Some Satsuma guitar picks, you know, for sale.
Cool.
He's that kind of a cat, and so I got to go play with him, and
your
thank
video
him
there
personally.
is also on YouTube.
Yeah, there's a video of me playing with Satsuma on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can put a link
I
to
saw
it.
The
it.
link
That's
is
great.
right here.
Yeah, here's the link.
Here's the link.
The magic of post-production. But a lovely guy. I got to tell him how important he was to me in a language that he doesn't speak. But he could tell the emotion was there.
Was it French or English?
It was. Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
It was mostly pantomime.
Yeah. Awesome.
It was me pointing to my heart, you know, and
Yeah.
wonderful
So
guy.
Guy Jean is our drummer, and he's someone in our band. Who else do we have in our band?
Who else do we have in
We've got Jimmy Sturgeon,
Jimmy Sturgeon.
our keyboard player, who's amazing, and we look forward to having all of these people, everybody individually, come and hang out.
I'm
in the
sure they
Lizard
will join
Lounge
us.
on the Day Drinking with Shag podcast.
Yeah. One thing about Jimmy Sturgeon, he's not shy in front of a microphone.
No, definitely not. He is definitely not. We have Tonehammer.
Twaco
Tonehammer on bass, which he came to us because he played in a band with you before.
Well, he and I played in bands together for, man, like 20 years, you know?
Does he know the true story of the origin of your band with him? Does he know this?
I've never come clean with him about that.
Would you care to now?
I suppose we could now, yeah.
Like,
why not?
Origin stories.
Let the truth be known. Let the truth come out.
Tell the truth now.
Yeah, few people know this. In a previous band that I was in, we were called Spunk. And the reason we were called Spunk was because...
Spanky and our gang was already taken.
Because my wife said, you guys are really spunky. You got a lot of spunk, you know. Maybe you should call yourself Spunk. And she wasn't
up on the double entendre?
Yeah, she wasn't hip to what the kids are saying and stuff. And so we all laughed and said, oh my God, that's a hilarious name for a band. So we called ourselves Spunk. And when I put together Spunk, I didn't have anybody to play with at all. I needed a drummer, and I needed a bass player, and I needed a singer. And a friend of mine said, hey, I know this guy who's a really great bass player. You should get in touch with him. So I got his number, and then I put an ad on Craigslist. Then I got a drummer who was interested. And both of them said to me, so you've got the bass player's like, you got a drummer and a singer, right? And I was like, yeah, of course I do. And the drummer was like, you got a bass player and a singer, right? And I was like, yeah, come on, man. You know? I had neither of these things. So the very first time I met either one of them, we rented a studio to go have a first kind of rehearsal get together, and I had to pretend to each of them that the other guy was my buddy. I felt like Jack Tripper on Three's Company.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, totally.
You know, and I had to talk to each of them afterwards, like, hey, what do you think about this guy? I'd never met these guys.
And they never caught on.
They never caught on, like, presumably until now.
Until now, when they hear this, they're going to be like, what?
Yep.
Yeah.
Brian from Spunk, shout out to Brian.
Yeah. He's come and sit in a couple times when we had a sick drummer or whatever. He came and sat in with us, but now we have Twaco Tonehammer as the bass player, and then we have we've got two backup singers, the SHAGgettes, as we lovingly refer to them, Vinyl Vixen.
Yep.
Who has been with us a long time?
Really, quite a long time.
Yeah, she has
a real.
Yeah.
Like if you made a pie chart of Vinyl Vixen's life, the member of Shag pie piece would be not a bad slice of pie.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't be your first choice.
Shag is not a bad slice of pie.
Yeah. There you go.
That's a new album title.
Yeah.
Slice of pie.
She makes us look younger than we are. So it's wonderful.
Yeah, she's definitely our youngest member for sure. So she helps us span the generations, which is great. And then we've got Moxie Groovis, who I think is actually our most recent.
She's the most recent member.
Yeah.
She's something else.
Yeah.
Right from the very first rehearsal, I was like, I love this girl.
Yeah.
She is something else.
Yeah, she's super great. So there's 8 of us in total.
Yeah.
And then we've got
we need larger stages.
Yeah, we need larger stages, and we've got a couple of members who kind of come in and out.
Extended
Shag family. Yeah. We've got
Poppy Fiasco.
Yeah, Poppy Fiasco, Krash's lovely wife. Mm-hmm. She's the world-renowned Kabasa player.
Yep.
We've had Zeke, our former drummer, a couple of times.
Kickstart member.
Yeah, Kickstart mentor. We've had the Count of Monte Cristo has come up and graced our stage a few times. Yeah, for sure. The Count.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the life of a cover band, eh? It's fun playing in a cover band. And so I want to have a conversation about the stigma I feel.
The elephant in the room.
The elephant in the room. I feel like cover
this
bands...
This episode brought to you by Shameless Self-Promotions.
Yes.
Which could not book a venue because...
We're a cover band. And we have a hard time finding places to play because there's a certain number of venues in town who will not book a cover band, and that's fine. God bless them. That's their.
We had a venue that we booked in September for what was it? An April gig, and in March, when we went to.
pulled the rug out
They
from
pulled the
under us.
rug because they had a change of direction.
Yes, yeah.
They're like, hey, we heard that the B-52s are a thing that exists.
Yeah.
So if you play their songs, you can't play here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but one of my favorite lines I always like to say, and if you would like one of our Shag Swag T-shirts that have this also on the back, that also say this on the back. Remember that every time you go to the symphony, you're seeing a cover band, right? So. I'd kind of like to figure out
That makes it sound like classic rock.
Why is it okay that classical musicians can be a cover band and it's refined? It's
because have you listened to new classical music?
Well, listen, I'm not in the classical music scene personally myself, but I'm pretty confident in saying that
That's a very unfair thing you said.
You can't.
Controversy alert.
There's not a lot of, new classical music original out there, right? I have yet to see a VSO that is like...
That young kid Holst.
Vancouver Symphony Orchestra going, we're presenting an original conductor this evening.
Right.
I don't know.
I'm sure they exist.
I'm sure they do. Hey, and if there's any listeners out there who know of
Send us some
original classical,
Okay, so all of a sudden we're not going to get a gig at the VSO after this.
We just did play at the VSO. We just
did. We actually did just play at the VSO.
We just played at the VSO.
I was going to say, there's a lot of French horn players that are very upset at us right now.
Yeah, it's true. But we literally did just play at the VSO. That is actually so funny, quite frankly. But
we disgraced their stage.
Yeah, we did.
One down, 99 to go.
Yeah, for sure. But if you do want to email us and let us know about the original classical performances in your neighborhood, you can email us
We are very interested in having an opening classical original band.
That would be cool.
That would get us into a lot of venues.
Yeah, don't upstage us though.
Right now.
Yeah.
Don't upstage us.
Feel free to upstage us.
But it's the email address.
Experience.
The email address is...
Oh!
That's what I'm trying to get across. Yeah, the email address is shagtheband.ca.
Just like our website.
At gmail.com.
Yeah.
So the website is shagtheband.ca, but the email address is shagtheband.ca at gmail.com.
Yeah, I feel
in
like
case you've got anything to tell us.
even our fans could figure that one out.
I hope so. Yeah.
Both of them.
So yeah, I am,
It's like, why are these people doing a podcast?
I don't
As if
know.
we know who they are.
We're just figuring it out. But
Welcome to 2026.
I would like to reduce the stigma of cover bands. That is sort of my mission in life. That's an important thing. So yeah.
Unless they're tribute bands.
Oh well, they get
Controversy alert.
They get more credibility than cover bands somehow. I don't know what that's about.
Maybe that's just our perception, but I think it's true.
Buffett experienced bands.
Yeah.
I
Awesome.
don't know.
Do you guys know that there's a Jimmy Buffett tribute band?
There
I do.
is.
They're awesome. We're going to see them on February 28th.
at the Surrey Bell Center. They're
Surrey Bell
called
Center.
Volcano. Yeah.
So if this airs before February 28th,
2026.
Get your tickets while they're out, while they're
And if it airs
available.
after that,
Yeah.
well,
Dash and I will be right in the front row center, just in case.
Just dressed like Jimmy Buffett.
I guess. I think I need to borrow the parrot.
Yeah. And we're surrounded by parrots.
Shag the Buffett.
Yeah, for sure. So
We'll be in the sequin glitter Hawaiian shirts.
Yes.
yeah. Okay, what else we got, folks? Oh, but wait,
What?
I want to go back to the cover band
wait, there's
stuff
more.
because this is okay. I read this really amazing thing from Rush. So Rush put it. So
And
here's
now you're going to hear it on fast speed,
Alex,
and you can
listen.
slow it down at home. If you want.
okay. But this is the thing about cover bands, right? And why it's so important to play cover music is people love seeing a really good cover band. First of all, like people have a riot, they have a good time.
They generally kind of like it more.
We pack the dance floor constantly, right? And
Yes.
that's what people like. They want to dance. They want to know the songs. They want to sing along. They want to, do that kind of thing, right?
Part of your history, man, your culture.
Yeah. And tons of great bands that we know and love today, not cover bands, started out in playing cover music.
Well, pretty
Believe
much
it or
every
not.
band starts out as a cover band.
Right.
And believe it or not, the crown
guess
jewel
not
of
every
Canadian rock.
Yeah.
Every
yes.
musician does.
Rush.
Yeah.
So Rush
Rush.
started out playing cover tunes, sort of, generally. And in 2004, they put out a great album that I actually really love called Feedback. And it was Neil Peart, who wrote the liner notes. And this is what he wrote, and stick with me here, because it's
Are you sure it was Neil Peart?
It was-
or are you
it
just
was
saying
Neil
that
Peart.
because you can't say...
It was Neil
Alex
Peart.
Lifeson.
Alex Lifeson.
No, it would be
It's
Neil Peart. He
because
was the
he actually writes all their liner notes
yes,
for all
and all
their
lyrics
albums.
and all.
Yes,
He was the
that's-
thinky guy.
He's
Mr. Word.
yeah, he's
The other-
the thinky guy.
He knows words.
So
He's got all the words.
these are the liner notes from Feedback. Neil Peart says, Getty, Alex, and I were channeling back to 1966 and 1967 when we were 13 and 14-year-old beginners. We thought it would be a fitting symbol to commemorate our 30 years together if we returned to our roots and paid tribute to those we had learned from and were inspired by, meaning the Feedback album, 2004. We thought we might record some of the songs we used to listen to, the ones we painstakingly learned the chords, notes, and drums parts for, and even played in our earliest bands. Ironically, I first heard many of these songs as cover tunes played by the local bands around St. Catharines, Ontario in the mid-60s. The Who and the Yardbirds were both introduced to me that way. A couple of years later, my own first band called Mumblin' Somethin' played Cream's Crossroads and the Blue Cheer version of Summertime Blues. At the same time, across the lake in the suburbs of Toronto, Alex played For What It's Worth in his first band, The Projection, and later with Getty, they also played Mr. Soul, The Shape of Things, and Crossroads in earlier versions of Rush. And other bands, okay, this is my favorite part, and other bands with names like Dusty Coconuts, Waterlogged Gorilla Fingers,
I remember
and,
those.
and Wild Woodpecker Review. Okay, wait. And the Aquiline Dimension of the Mind, depending on the day.
Do not get high before seeing those guys. It's
It could
It's
be
too
dangerous.
Yeah, for sure.
too much.
But so awesome, right? Like that's, that's where they start out and,
Yep.
Playing all the cover songs. And then, you fast forward to 2004 after they've had a bazillion, amazing albums, and they're putting out a cover album.
And ask people that, musicians that play in bands now and stuff like that. What was the band that got you into wanting to play live? It's not like the Rolling Stones, it's not like the Who. It's the band that you saw at the county fair. You went to the county fair, you were 9 years old, you were 10 years old, and you saw your very first time people on stage playing music and went, holy crap, I got to do this. This is the thing I got to do. And it was like the frozen gorilla fingers, or whatever, right? Like cover bands are doing a huge, we're bringing a lot of value.
There's something about live music.
Yeah, of course you have to play all ages shows for this to be true.
Yes.
But it's true. I remember being a little kid and seeing my uncle play guitar or going to a band, going to see something out in some public thing, and there's some band rocking out, and I was like, man, those are just dudes. But to me, they weren't just dudes; they were gods. They were like, how do you do that? How can you possibly do that? But seeing somebody do it live made you think maybe I could do that too. You know, whereas the Rolling Stones, you hear them on the radio, you see that you play their record, and you go, well, they're from outer space. They're magical. They're magical creatures. But when you see Uncle Doug, right? Yeah. It's holy crap, maybe I could do this too.
Yeah. Well, my classmate, his older brother, I was in grade 7, first live band I ever saw. The older brother, who's now in grade 10, and his band does a show at
and you
our
worship
school.
that dude.
We're just learning guitar. Yeah. They're doing Smoke on the Water and Radar Love. And you go, I want to be on that stage, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just crushing the Smoke on the Water.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you first learn guitar, right, and you first figure that out, and you go, because that was pre-YouTube, so you had to figure stuff out, and you go, wow.
Yeah, man. Guys, I got
5 hours later, your parents are going, learn a different song.
Yeah. I got kicked out of music class in grade 3 for learning Smoke on the Water and Iron Man on the ukulele. Because we had a ukulele sesh And so I and here's a young, like, budding musician, and using my ear to play these like Black Sabbath songs, Deep Purple songs, and my very obviously progressive music teacher decided that the thing to do with that was to kick me out of music.
Ukulele, the gateway instrument.
Yeah, that set me back a lot, man. Myself, I'm sure you're dead now, but if you're not, that was a big mistake. That set me back, man. That set me back a long time because what that taught me was, music is for like these magical musician people, and it's not for like everyday people like me, kids like me. And anyway, I'm glad I recovered from that blow. I had to sit in the hall, guys, while everybody's playing ukuleles. I wasn't allowed to have a ukulele anymore.
Oh no!
Yeah, and I'd been sitting there. I'd been.
Were you triangle boy?
Yeah, no, I wasn't allowed to do anything. I was like not allowed in music. Imagine, eh?
No.
So here I was, like figuring out Smoke on the what, Mrs.
Oh,
she was a bit selfish.
She was a bit selfish,
me.
definitely. Yeah.
There's actually no way she's alive today. She'd be like, if was alive today, she'd be like, no, like 140 probably. So there's no way she's around.
We're not the youngest band on the block.
But if somehow or another you were related to Mrs. who taught grade school music classes in Nobel, Ontario, near Parry Sound, Ontario, shoot us a message.
Yeah.
We'd like to know, I don't know, where's she buried?
Yeah.
What were your terrible experiences with her? You know what they said? When Howard Stern started out, it was like that his audience was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and people were like, "Who are these people? Who's listening to Howard Stern?" And it roughly broke down on a 50-50 basis. 50% people love Howard Stern, 50% hate him, and or like Elvis. Colonel, what's his name?
Tom Parker,
Colonel Sanders, Colonel Tom Parker, or whatever his name was. That
man.
He figured out really soon that like there's a huge chunk of people that hate Elvis, and he was like, how do I tap into that? And so he made anti-Elvis merch that he sold, like I hate Elvis pins and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Unbelievable, huh? Genius.
Wow.
Actually genius.
Well, how many people who burned their Beatles albums, in the Deep South, rebought them
and then bought them again
47 times later, right?
That'll show them.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Careful what you burned.
Yeah.
You might be buying it 20 years later going, this is genius.
What about, but cover bands.
Cover bands.
In bands who started out as cover bands.
Or tribute bands.
Tribute bands. Tell me what you know about
what do I know?
Your favorite band in the entire planet. The Beatles.
Hi, I'm old. I'm a time traveler from the 60s. I'm the end of the baby boom here. That's my, well, the Beatles.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things they used to say about the Beatles is that they did better covers than the originals in many cases.
Okay.
Easy to believe.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's certainly different. Like Mr. Postman and whatnot was, awesome.
So their time in...
But it was harmonies, right?
Their time in Hamburg, was that as the Beatles' original stuff, or was that covers?
No, that was pre-originals.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not pre-original. I'm sure they were writing, like,
Okay.
McCartney wrote Michelle, like, when he was a young teenager.
Right.
To pick up the chicks.
Right.
That was his. He'd sit there and he'd sing songs in French at parties, and the girls would come up and go, "Oh, he wouldn't even know probably what the words meant, but then years later, what was that song that you used to play with French for and there you go.
Imagine Paul McCartney's French accent. It must be awful. Oh, maybe it's pretty good.
I think he did the recorder in Fool on the Hill to impress Jane Asher's dad. Because, in 1966, after Beatlemania, you got to pull out the recorder to impress the girlfriend's dad.
Was it recorder or flute, or what was it?
I think it was recorder. You play recorder in Lowrider.
Fool on the Hill? On Fool on the Hill? I feel like it's flute. But
I can't see McCartney playing a flute.
I could be wrong.
There's no flutes in Liverpool. That's not a Liverpool thing. Really isn't.
Actually, I'm suddenly intrigued by the idea of Paul McCartney speaking French. So if anybody's got any links to send in, please do. I want to feel better about my own French accent. So
I want to hold your hand in German.
Ooh.
Oh,
When did you find her Han?
That's right. I've actually heard that.
I think it was really something new.
So they famously spent, they were playing 2 or 3 shows a day in Germany.
9 hours
playing cover songs.
Yeah. And the great thing is, as we've all discovered, is if you don't know the lyrics, you just make them up.
That's what David Lee Roth does.
Yeah.
For his own songs.
Which is... Well, I remember seeing a thing of John Lennon doing Come Together in like the early 70s at a benefit concert. And he's just making shit up, right? And then you go, well, maybe he just made shit up on the day that they recorded it too. Right? It's just, hey, I wrote it. I'm continually writing this.
By the way, excellent segue, Dash, because one of the things I'd like just to say about like cover bands versus original bands is like with original bands, nobody actually knows how the song goes. So when you screw it up, nobody knows. How could they know? Because, they're probably hearing this song. I'm not talking about established bands. I'm talking about, bands out there like writing songs, playing them out there, trying to get some traction, whatever, right? And it's like, oh, the bass player, his patch cable goes. He's got to change patch cables. It's like there's a whole part of the song that doesn't have a bass in it. And you're like, oh, that's how the song goes.
That's just the organic, creative process.
I got a great, terrible, embarrassing, funny story for you. What the hell is the name of that band, that Canadian band with Hugh something or other?
Man, that's the Headstones.
The Headstones.
From Kingston, Ontario.
So I had seen them play many times. I used to work at this club in Regina called Channel 1. And Channel 1, super cool club because they actually owned a piece of real estate. They owned a house. And so instead of putting bands up in a hotel, they would have them stay at the house. And they hired somebody who was like, you got free rent, I guess. I don't know quite what the deal was, but they got free rent to like look after the band house. And my former brother-in-law was like the biggest Headstone fanatic in the world.
They were pretty cool.
And so he used to come into the club and he ingratiated himself, to them. And then one night we all got invited to the after party at
Trixie's been to many after parties.
I've been to many after parties. Actually, not a lot at the band house, quite frankly. And anytime there was a party there, it was like a party. Like there was, lots of people there.
And of course, Hugh got his start as a drug dealer.
So I don't doubt that. I totally don't doubt that. Anyways, that night when they played, I knew the lyrics to one particular song, and he flubbed them up and messed them up. And I'm like a 21-year-old idiot at this time. And I go to the after party and I'm all nervous and I'm trying to impress him. And so what do I say? I go, oh, yeah, you got the lyrics wrong on that song.
Yeah.
And he looks at me from across the table and he goes, thanks.
Did you get away with that?
Be going with you.
Next.
You little idiot. Yeah. Anyways, so.
We'll probably never talk about the Headstones again. So I'll just tell you guys a Headstone story that I have, which is one of the most mind-blowing things I've ever seen in live music. I was working at a local beer company that you might have heard of, but I won't say which one. And
was it the one my dad used to like to drink?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, okay.
All our dads probably
okay.
drank their beer, and they had a Super Bowl party here in Vancouver, and it was invitation only, so it was all like VIP and you had to win access to this thing. And I was like the youngest person working there at the time. So, and I was, super into music and stuff. So, marketing guy comes to me and he goes, hey, I got this list of bands that could play this show. Any of them like jump out to you? Any of them like do you think are good or bad or whatever like that? And I went through the list and I was like, sucks. Okay, not bad. Sucks. And then I saw Headstones and I was like, oh, Headstones. I was like, they're cool, man. Actually, get the Headstones. They're a really good football kind of, because this is for the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
So they're a really good football band. They'll really appeal to the crowd. They're hard rock, and Hugh Dillon is like this rock and roll maniac, right? And it'll be really good. So anyway, day of the show, it's in the Pacific Coliseum here in Vancouver. It's a big room, okay, pretty full, and there's a stage set up, and the Headstones come on, and Hugh comes out and he's got football gear on. He's got like shoulder pads and a helmet, and he's got the black stuff under the eyes,
Yeah.
the anti whatever.
Cool.
He's looking like a punk rock football guy, and he was grumpy. He was in a bad mood, and he proceeded to spend the majority of their time on stage insulting the crowd in the most heinous way.
And not in a punk rock spit on the crowd way. It's
like kind of in a punk rock spit on the crowd way, but like kind of be like, he's like, you guys here for some football? And everybody's like, yeah. You guys love football? And everybody's like, yeah. He's like, you bunch of pussies. He's like, and he just went on like he called them every name.
There goes our child
that you could call somebody. Like he was just venomous, like is what I would say, venomous. He was attacking that crowd verbally with in his sort of like this
in his Hugh Dillon way,
in this costume, mocking them in a way with his costume and with his words, saying horrible things. Like,
so were your bosses seriously pissed at you for picking them?
I was getting like so the marketing guy comes over to me. He's like, "What is going on with it?" And I was like, "Dude, I don't know. I just heard them on the radio. You know, like I don't know them personally. I wasn't roommates with this guy. You know." Anyway, it was unbelievable. In a way, I had a lot of respect for like the punk rockness of it, like the like, I don't care. I'm never working for this company again. Yeah. I'm never doing this gig again. I'm just going to go out there. I guess he hates football.
Okay, Jim Morrison.
I guess he hates like corporate, whatever. That's great, right? Like we all hate corporate stuff and we all hate this stuff.
Well, he doesn't hate enough to not take the paycheck.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if he got paid, you know, at the end of the day. It must have been an interesting conversation about, okay, where's my 50 grand? You know? And they're like, we have a contract here and you violated like 25 clauses. You know?
Well, you didn't put in don't insult the audience into the contract.
Yeah, they rewrote all their contracts. They rewrote all their contracts after that show, okay? But anyway, but on the other hand, I was like, man, you got paid to come out and entertain these people in good faith, you know? Yeah. And like, that is your job. And you really like, it'd be like if I showed up at McDonald's and just like, I don't know, just like turned off all the fryers and took a dump on the counter or something like that. It's like, okay, if you don't want to go to work, don't go to work. But why make it so bad for everybody? But it made it great for me. I thought it was amazing, except for the whole like career limiting aspect.
It's not a career limiting move. It's a career defining move.
Yeah. So anyway, shout out to Hugh Dillon, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's really punk rock.
Well, you guys, I don't know. What do you think? Is that about it? Do you think?
Well,